Hello lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be discussing the detailed analysis of No Sweetness Here and Other Stories by Aidoo. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. Aidoo is a Ghanaian writer whose works are studied by students all over the world. Her career dates from when, as an undergraduate, she wrote her first play titled The Delimma of a Ghost in 1964. She followed that with Anwa in 1970. Since then, she has published novels, including Changes in 1991, volumes of poems and short stories, including An Angry Letter in January and Other Poems in 1992, and The Girl Who Can and Other Stories in 1997. Her third collection of short stories is Diplomatic Poems and Other Stories, published in 2012 by Ayibia. No Sweetness Here and Other Stories is about everyday concerns relating to women, love, marriage, divorce, war, poverty, death, cultural issues, and identity. Also, the author delves into the aftermath of the encounter between Africans and the Europeans and the need to appreciate where one is coming from. No Sweetness Here and Other Stories is a collection of 11 stories beautifully written by a veteran Ghanaian female writer. She treats everyday subjects and issues with unique perspective and a delicate style. The stories unfold in a unique style, which shows Aidoo's creativity as a novelist. Some of the stories hint us on the encounter of Africans with the Western world, and most importantly, the dilemma the modern African is faced with. Aidoo's narrative is fragmented with a mixture of her characters' inner thoughts, feelings, and dialogues. This reflects a rich oral tradition of storytelling in Africa, making her stories easier and simple to understand, especially for lovers of short stories. The author also makes good use of humor extensively in her narration. In her own unique, delicate but powerful style, she engages the readers through her choice of words, which includes a spicy mix of precise choice words, phrases, and proverbs, and a mixture of the local dialects. The opening chapter of the book, Everything Counts, the readers are drawn deep into the narrator's grief. It focuses on Sisi, a young African woman who schools abroad. Sisi is one who is proud of her African heritage and sees no reason one should blindly copy the Western culture. She sees certain changes in Africa as unfortunate and uncalled for. Everything Counts throws light on the male-dominated African society and the unquestionable power of men in the African society. Also, the need to stay true to who we are is a major theme in Everything Counts. Aidoo, through her narrator, speaks against Africans considering themselves as inferior and accepting wholesale everything that comes from the West. She is equally worried about Africans' craze for second-hand goods from the West. The author also touched on the high expectations from relatives abroad, which brings about the fear of returning home due to the high expectations of their relatives. The second story is titled For Whom Things Did Not Change. This story revolves around three main characters, Setu, Zirugu, and a young doctor called Kwabena. Setu and Zirugu are husband and wife. Zirugu is in charge of the government guest house. He lives in the boys' quarters and works as the only cook there. He serves his masters, who are whites, with foreign dishes. However, after independence, the big men who were sent to their community stayed in the guest house. Surprisingly, the so-called big men, who are Africans or natives, eat only white delicacies. They only eat dishes of the whites. The arrival of a young doctor called Kwabena, who was posted to their community, brought a lot of changes in this regard. He is different from all the workers who were posted there. Setu and her husband are proud of his good qualities, which includes not bringing girls to his house, not taking alcohol, being hardworking, and most importantly, his rejection of the Western dishes. Dr. Kwabena insists on eating local dishes as he considers eating foreign dishes as slavery. The story also delves into the issue of what independence truly means, since the independence of the country has not brought any significant changes to the lives of people. Ama Ata Aidoo also touched on failed leadership in the African society and cooking perceived as a woman's job. The third story is titled In the Curtain of a Drink. The narrator of this story is the brother of Mansa who sets to Accra for the first time in search of his sister Mansa, who dropped out from school after class 3. The narrator is simple and naive. He anticipates life in the city to be as simple as it is in the village. Mansa was said to a woman who promised to teach her how to keep the house and to work with a sewing machine. However, Mansa has failed to return home after she visited them once, and that was a long time ago. When the narrator finally arrived in Accra, he is so overwhelmed by the countless number of cars and buildings. Thieves made away with his belongings. However, he was lucky enough to have found Duayao. The two discusses how difficult the search of Mansa will turn out to be. In the end, he finds Mansa, but the irony of it all is that Mansa is now a prostitute, but she assures him she will come home during Christmas. The fourth story is titled The Message. This story focuses on the anxiety of Mami Esi Amfua, who receives a telegram informing her that her granddaughter has undergone a cesarean operation. When the news hit the village, everyone concluded that her granddaughter was dead, since her granddaughter's stomach was opened to remove the baby. She gets to the hospital with the help of Draba Anan, only to find her granddaughter active and alive. The fifth story in this collection is titled Certain Winds from the South. This story is a protest against the youth traveling from the north to the south of the country in search of greener pastures. Mma Asana opposes the idea of Issa going south when his wife Hawa has just delivered a son called Husseini. Mma Asana is against Issa traveling because she has been a victim of such travel. Her own husband traveled to the south and got enlisted into the English army to fight during the World Wars. Her husband died in the war when her child Hawa was barely 3 days. Mma Asana sees a common destiny in her life and that of her daughter Hawa. The husbands of both of them have traveled to the south. However, in the case of Mma Asana, her husband embarked on a hopeless and useless adventure. He never returned, while Hawa's husband is going to work for money. The title story of this collection, No Sweetness Here, tells the story of a female teacher who is attracted by the beauty of her primary 4 pupil. The boy is called Kwesi. She becomes close to Mami Ama, Kwesi's mother. Mami Ama is facing many problems in her marriage and is seeking a divorce. She plans to divorce her husband during the Ahobia festival. During the Ahobia festival, she gets divorced to her husband, but that is not all. There are bitter exchanges as to who should take care of the son Kwesi. Unfortunately, Kwesi was bitten by a snake. All attempts to save his life failed. He died to the shock of everyone. Mami Ama's parents have died. Her relatives are jealous of her. She has no husband now. In addition to that, she has just lost her only son. Indeed, life is no sweet. Therefore, no sweetness here. The 7th chapter of the book is titled A Gift from Somewhere. This story focuses on the issue of procreation. Abna Jiwa suffers mockery from people because she gave birth, but the first 2 children died. The 3rd child was also ill and emaciated, showing little hope of surviving. However, her son was healed mysteriously after a failed attempt by a Malam called Papa Kramo. She is ignorant of the fact that her child was not healed by the Malam. She thanked the gods and her ancestors and named her baby Nyamiche, which means a gift from God. Abna Jiwa is ever prepared to suffer on behalf of her children. Chapter 8 is titled Two Sisters. This story revolves around two sisters, Connie and Mercy, whose parents are no more. Connie is a teacher, while Mercy is a typist. Connie is older than her sister Mercy. She is very protective of her sister and wants her to stop following sugar daddies and marry a young man like Joe. Two Sisters focuses on materialism. Materialism is a central theme in this story. Mercy's choices are driven by her craze for material wealth. Again, corruption is a major theme that runs through this story. Corruption in terms of moral bankruptcy and in terms of financial bankruptcy. The ninth story in this collection is titled The Late Bad. The Late Bad deals with mothers' attitude to their children based on their perception that some children are good because they are always home running errands, while others are branded bad and unsupportive because they are outgoing and playful. Yaba's mother, Mami Beyiwa, is guilty of selective treatment. She openly proves to Yaba she hates her while she loves the other children. While Mami Beyiwa addresses Ajua as my child Ajua, she simply addresses Yaba as Yaba to show that she is proud of Ajua. Yaba is always at the playground under a big truck tree playing with her friends. Her mother worries about this behavior of hers. It is believed that a girl should not play as much as a boy. So this trait exhibited by Yaba becomes a basis for her mother to treat her as an outsider. Yaba sometimes wonders if Mami is truly her real biological mother or not. This story focuses on gender roles and how girls are sometimes restrained by what society believes a girl is supposed to do and not do. Something to talk about on the way to the funeral is the 10th story in this collection. The art of gossiping is used by Ama Ata Aidoo to provide readers with insightful information about the life of Auntie Araba. Auntie Araba's death has attracted a lot of sympathy and everybody desires to mourn her. We learn from the two gossips, a resident from Ofuntumase and Ajua, the virtuous life of Auntie Araba. Even though she was faced with numerous challenges, Auntie Araba found her way to the top through hard work. In one sense, something to talk about on the way to the funeral celebrates motherhood. The role played by Auntie Araba is laudable. Now that she is dead, everyone sees her as a candidate of heaven. The 11th story in this collection is titled Other Versions. This story is a glorification of motherhood. Kofi, the narrator of the story, acknowledges the woes of women and maintaining that every mother deserves some reward or appreciation from her children. Due to the dominant roles mothers play in the family, children tend to see them as more responsible. Hence, they normally develop more love for their mothers than their fathers. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share this video.